You one of the ones that don't do that.
That looks good.
I want every bathroom on the
All right. Well, I'll be in there. I'll count y'all down.
All right, good luck, guys. Even though you don't need it.
All right, also. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
What up, everybody? It is HeSaySheSay back with episode number 5.
What's up, y'all? This is Siobhan J.
It's Uncle Kel.
It's Jordan.
It's MJ.
And I'm Shadea.
Alrighty then. Y'all, we just been having the giggles around here. All right, so y'all already know how we started off. I got a great topic for y'all here in this news feed. Now, I don't know if y'all heard about this, but it was so alarming to me this week. So a child was charged with aggravated assault from playing a dodgeball game. So basically what happened, it was a 10-year-old boy, right? He was charged with aggravated assault at Ruth Erickson Elementary in Canton, Michigan. The child hit with the ball has a medical condition that makes head injuries dangerous. So in the police report, it claims that Bryce, the boy that hit the kid, intentionally threw the ball at the boy's face. So the mother and Bryce himself had no idea that the child even had a head injury. So my first thought is, one, why are we charging a 10-year-old with a crime? Second, this is a child in what? When you're 10-year-old, you're about 3rd grade. So this is a game that we play on the playground all day. We all friends, we're all classmates. Let's play a game of dodgeball. If your son has a head injury, that's not my son's problem. You need to talk to the school or the teachers. So I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Child, really?
First of all, if you're a parent, it is your job to make sure that your child, if they have some type of condition, it's your job to make sure that child stays away from those situations. Mm-hmm. So in this case, if that mother, father, whoever didn't make it known, hey, this is my son, he has this injury, he can't do these certain activities, at that point, he has to be removed from those activities. If nobody knows that, then whether it was intentional or not for dude to hit him in the face, because you know how we are as kids, everybody's kind of devious when it comes to dodgeball, especially. So it's like, even if he did hit him on purpose, I don't see why this should be the result. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
he clearly didn't dodge the ball. Obviously
did not dodge the ball. Like I think it's so bogus. Like, how do you charge a kid for playing a game the way the rules say you're supposed to play it? Mm-hmm. So because little dude is got hit in the head, that is a personal problem. I just think it's just crazy. Like the fact that the judicial system, right? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Whomever, however it go. They felt that it was okay to be like, yeah, we're going to charge him. What sense does that make? Because like you said, like we play this, dodgeball is not no new game. Like it's something we've always been playing. You either don't play or you dodge the ball, like or catch it, like
That's the whole idea of the game. My thing is the police intentionally the police said he intentionally hit him in the head.
That's what you're supposed
to do. A 10-year-old Tom Brady who got the aim to hit somebody in the head.
Shout out to him. If you can intentionally hit somebody in their head while they're moving, hopefully the dude is moving. If you
he's probably scared and steal.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's your problem. You never learned the rules of dodgeball or whatever. But yeah, shout out to him. He gonna be somebody one day. Hopefully he don't go to jail, but if he get out, y'all got a quarterback waiting. So
the only thing I can say about this story is I'm just glad they weren't charging us when we was kids, because I was aiming for I never aimed for body. Like if I didn't hit the head, I wouldn't please.
That's what
and I'm trying to knock you out. So
yeah, personally, like when I went to Boys and Girls Club, we played dodgeball, and like you was gonna get hit. I got hit in my face almost knocked out cold. So
It just stink for a little
comes
bit.
with it.
So
It just
so
comes
ball,
with the
like,
game.
All of
Like
them ain't soft.
it's not for the
All
weak.
of them ain't soft.
It's not the red ones. They used
It
to
might have been one of
rubber.
those like bouncy balls. The ones now, if you got
You
hit
can
with
feel
that
the
in the head,
roughness around that
that's a
ball.
little different.
You can hear the ball.
Literally.
That rubber one. It used to be red. That one there is
Now, if it's
dangerous.
that foam, you might be good with that foam.
No, it's still gonna
It'll
sting.
sting a little bit, but that
That
rubber,
red one that we used to play basketball
Oh,
with.
the red one.
you knocked out. I feel bad for buddy.
I don't know. It's just crazy. I saw the report, and the mom of the son with the condition didn't even want to show her face. And if we throw in there, she was a white lady, and the boy that's getting charged, he was an African American boy, which was already sad for me because I'm like, okay, this boy hasn't even grown up. He already has to deal
Already get
with the
the
criminal
case.
system. But really the thing is just being a child, any child, no matter what their race is, you should not be charging a child with this type of assault. Now, what the parents should have done was confirm, first of all, tell your son you have a condition, son. You cannot play with the other kids. Now, some parents have a problem with that. Like, I understand that you want kids to be kids. You want them to enjoy the activities as everyone else. Yeah, you don't want to single them out, but it's like he has a condition. And when kids are on the playground, they are going to do
Maybe go to that
whatever.
swing.
Honestly, like that's not your game.
Like,
You
yeah.
got all the other games you could play tic tac toe,
Slide down the
all
slide.
that.
Something. So my question was, does he know that he has this condition? And most importantly, does the teacher know? Does the school know? Because I'm pretty sure if the teacher knew, she would, take precautions to, hey, little whatever his name is, they didn't mention it. You can't do these certain things. Mom said no, whatever the case may be. So
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. The unanswered question is, does the kid know himself? Did the parent let the school know, teacher or whatever? And yeah, did the teacher know? So those questions, once we get answers to those, then that's when we can sit up and say, X, Y, and Z. But until then, this is BS.
But regardless if they know or not, it's a game. Like, it's a game that you're bound to get hit.
Yeah,
It's like basketball.
Logically,
honestly.
like,
Like basketball, it's a game. You may get crossed over. Now your ankles break.
If you got bad ankles, you might not want to play.
Right.
It's not your game.
You play football, you might get ran over.
Yeah. You got weak bones, you can't just. That's not your
Hopefully you
game.
don't get the wind knocked out of you. But if you do,
You can't sue nobody.
It's not assault.
it is what it is.
that's crazy.
Now they gotta start signing waivers for gym class.
Can your son play dodgeball? Yes or no?
yeah,
Mama, let's tell me to take this on the
you
sign.
have a condition, yes or no?
I mean, the gym teacher should know that if anybody in class have like a condition that's severe to where you get hit in the head with a foam ball, you're gonna have some serious head injury. She should know like not to let this student participate in the activity. So
Yeah, this is just crazy. It's all so sensitive. It's belligerent. And I just hope that these charges are dropped, which I'm for sure that they will be. This is a 10-year-old. And if not, then something has to give because that's just crazy.
Yes.
So hang in there, little Bryce. You'll be all right, buddy.
Yes. One of us gonna come get you.
Yeah.
Maybe all of us. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna let y'all go in on it, and then I'll kind of fill in what I think as
Uncle
the time
Kel.
goes by.
Okay.
At what point in a relationship do you feel that you know that it's love? What level or what gets you to say, okay, yeah, this is love?
I feel like
I feel.
what do you
at
think?
one point that you feel like it's love. It's just
tough.
not even the point. It's not about the point. It's about the.
You just know.
It's just.
Is there something you know?
I feel like at some point, just know. Like, you can't. I don't think you can put a pinpoint on when you love someone.
I don't think so either. I just feel like it's a feeling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether that feeling comes in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 whatever.
Hey, if it comes in 2 days.
Well,
Hey, bro. Hey,
red flag.
it's possible. It's
I
possible.
think it's a thing where, like, if you're in a serious relationship with someone and you feel yourself starting to do things out of the normal that you would normally do, like, for example, let's say you start praying for this person more, you start caring for this person more, you start considering this person when you make certain decisions, you want to be around this person. Just everything about this person just sparks your interest. Like it's just someone you truly want to be around and you just makes you feel happy. I feel like that's when it's like, yeah, I think I love this person. And especially when you don't want to see them with nobody else. That you that's the first stage.
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
First stage you
Yeah.
care. Then when it starts building up a little more, yeah, you love this man, you love this girl.
Yeah, I'll agree with the whole, you start doing stuff out of the ordinary. So, something you would do with your ex or what you was doing level 4 over here, now you're doing like level 8, level 9. It's like a different feeling towards that person. So that in that regards, yeah, I feel like that's kind of when you kind of know. But as far as I don't want to see you with nobody else, it's some people out here.
That's what all of.
Not really.
It's a gray area.
I mean,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
If
I'll say it
talk
shouldn't
to
be.
you want to see with nobody else, like even exes, that don't mean you need to love them.
I mean, it's some people that be like, you could love somebody and still see them with somebody better than who you are.
Yeah,
Like,
You want them to be
that's
happy.
true.
Yeah.
That's some love.
That's some
that I
love.
have not reached yet because
You want them to be happy.
yeah, that's some
Do y'all believe-
unconditional love.
In Love at First Sight.
mm-mm.
Love at first sight.
Hell no.
Lust,
Like-
Not
yeah.
love. Lust.
Okay, I know what love at first sight means, but when you say love at first sight, is that like,
It's like people use it in the context of like,
so if we meet up for the first time
And it's just
we
like-
chop it up
boom.
and it's like, I think I love
I know. Yeah.
I think I believe in that.
Not I think I love you, but more so like I have this connection with you that I've never connected with anybody before. It's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
But
believe
that's
in that.
not love at first sight though. Love at first sight means, oh, I see you, I love you.
Yeah, that's my wife.
I guess that's the
Right.
term.
That's what we
the
have
term.
created it to be,
Yeah,
but I think it's more to it.
I don't think
So
it's,
you think
I'm
love-
walking down the street and I see you, it's like, oh yeah, I love you.
Ooh, you the one.
I feel
That's
like,
like after a conversation.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like after a deep conversation or a conversation where y'all both was like real into it,
Yeah.
I feel like if I feel like you love somebody at that point, that would be the love at first
I
sight.
doubt, because I feel like if you that conversation is really intriguing to you and you really digging that person, you really just like that person.
Yeah. You don't
Because
love the
love
person.
offers a lot of different stuff to where you cannot get in a small moment all of these things that love offers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
answer this for me.
Mm-hmm.
What is love?
Patience.
What?
Patience.
Yeah. I tell you what it is. I tell you exactly what it is.
Faithfulness.
Wait. You said patience.
Uh,
Fruits of
I have
Spirit.
patience. Wait. You said patience.
Mhm.
I have patience on my job with customers. That don't mean I love them.
Ooh, speak on it.
I can tell you what it is,
Okay,
though.
go ahead.
For me, love is choosing that person over yourself, right?
That's what it is.
Choosing,
I believe
and,
that.
and even love is respect,
Mhm.
right? I listen to podcasts all the time. I was listening to one the other day. The dude was saying he knew he loved his girlfriend at the time when he respected her so much that he would tell her things that she didn't ask.
That he had to tell the
That
truth about.
he had
I
to tell
know
the truth
exactly
about it.
what
Yeah,
you're talking
that opened
That's
my
love.
mind so much. I was like, I had never felt like that before about nobody.
Is that love or conviction?
Now, if I
No.
say to myself, listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth, even though you didn't ask, the situation where his girlfriend had found out about him, like texting some girl, he went ahead and tell her what happened with the girl, even though she never knew about that, and was like, I want a clean slate with you now. He's like, that's when I knew I really truly loved her. I chose
It's
her.
like
over
when
me.
you start off with no bumps.
Yeah,
So once you start off with no bumps, it's like, I'm growing to love you now. If you don't really care too much,
Yeah.
you might say, hey, if you find out, you find out. If you don't, you don't. So at that point, he felt like, let me just go ahead and put up everything on the table, and then we're gonna start from a clean slate. So yeah, I agree. I saw the video.
Yeah,
that
that
you
was-
know about. I saw that on
on the
Facebook. Yeah.
on Instagram, yeah.
So
I think a lot of people get love confused though. Love is unconditional. Love is
Everybody have their
don't have
own.
stipulations.
Everybody have their own meaning of love.
that's why I asked
Yeah.
you what is love, because everybody has their own window of love. So
It's no like pinpoint.
it's not.
Boom. This is love because your love language may be different from mine.
Right.
I feel like my love is me showing love, or me knowing that somebody is in love with me, or that somebody loves me, is the fact that even if I'm wrong, or even if I did something wrong, they're still able to bring me
I like that. I like that.
Forgiveness.
It's rare. I like that. You think it's a difference between loving somebody and being in love?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
there's a difference.
Having love for somebody, that means, you know, babe, I'm gonna say it in a harsh way. I care if you die. Basically.
Yeah, that's basically.
I care if you die right now. I would care.
That's love for.
That would be like love for or love towards the person. Now, being in love with somebody on this radio show, I can't really go into what that might, you know, be for me. But yeah, that's the
It'll truly hurt me.
Yeah.
Like on
Because,
some,
like-
I'm isolating myself from the world.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I'm.
True love is nothing but sacrifices.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have
Think
to.
about
Think
it.
about
Sacrifices and putting yourself, which it ties into sacrifices, putting yourself before that, putting that person before you.
And I think true love is like when you're willing to give more than you receive.
That's what it is. That's there it is. There it is.
Because y'all are both
Word.
individuals, but y'all are agreeing to be individuals together, if that makes sense.
Love is when you take the I out of you and put the we.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, right. I don't think those letters top, but okay.
I get what you're
It
going.
don't
I
add
get
up,
what
but it makes sense.
No, it's
Right.
not a letter
I like
thing.
that.
It's a concept. It's an
Oh,
idea.
okay.
you're
An
doing.
analogy.
I like that. All right.
Interesting.
All right. So the question and answer is, what is low and high standards?
I think everybody has their different
I
type
think
of standards. If we were speaking in our individual sight on that, I guess low standards all across the board is just pretty much you down for whatever. I mean, whatever just comes your way. You don't really, they don't have to have really anything to them. Like it's just, oh, well, I'll figure it out when you come along and we'll see what you're about. High standards is when most people probably lift up their standards when they've already been through something and you know exactly what you want. Sometimes people can get unrealistic with it, but it's like, I know I want this, I know I don't want that, and I know I want all these different things. Like you kind of pick and choose.
At that point, is that having high standards or knowing your worth?
I can vary.
I think it is both.
Because
Because when you have low standards, you know, it's just basically like not knowing your worth. You settling.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Low.
actually, I have to disagree with that.
Go ahead.
Because low standards could be, I'm just gonna settle for right now. But you can know exactly who you are, you know your worth, but this is convenient.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like low standards is the ingredients of failed opportunities.
So I had to think about that really quick.
Like if too many
Sometimes.
times, like somebody let you down, then you begin to let your guard down and be like, okay, I'm accepting this now because I feel like that was just too high for me. So I'm finna operate in a place where everything seems
comfortable.
easy.
I like that.
True.
I like that.
MJ said I like that about 2 times already.
I'm preaching today.
But then I wanted to backdoor and say, is it having low standards or having high standards or knowing your worth? But then again, how do we know what we're worth?
Oh, there it is, Coach.
From experience, I think.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So I feel like after you've been through so much, it's like this. I settled. I tolerated something for so long, and I know I'm better. You know, I know I'm capable of being with someone, or even like I'm. What's the word I want to use? I know that there's better right now. There's better out there right now because this was, like we've been saying, comfortable and convenient for me. I'm just okay with the mediocre.
But is that a mindset?
I feel like it's a mindset thing. It's a confidence thing too. Like for me, I know for me personally, what I can bring to the table. So I'm not going to settle for anything less than that. Now that might be me having high standards, but at the same time, it's me knowing my worth at that too.
And it may be low standards for somebody
Exactly.
else.
For somebody else, it might be low. Like I might think, okay, well, I need somebody with this, and this. Somebody else, I need somebody with this, and this, and plus more. That's their standard. That's high.
But then again, with that, I feel like, and this is not with everybody, but I feel like some people have these bars set until the bar is set on the other side. So it's like, okay, this is what I need right here.
You like
But
that?
it's like once you get it in that other person, can you keep up with that?
Prime
I
example.
mean, anybody can think, yeah, I deserve this, this, and that. Okay, let me go get that for you. How do you handle it?
It
Or-
catch you off guard for sure.
Or you think you deserve this, and that, right? You don't have this, and that.
Mhm.
So now your standards are high. To the world, your standards are too high because you don't even provide that yourself, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You cannot go into something and, oh, I want this, and my man and my woman got to have this. You don't bring that to the table yourself.
Oh,
So now your standards are too high.
But then again, I think it comes with help sometimes. You know, if like say for instance, you know, I'm here, but I want this. I feel like if I want this, but I can't bring this right here, I feel like whoever can bring me this can help me get there, and then we can be compatible at that point.
That's
But
true.
but it is people out here who want this and who's here. But once they get it, it's like they're terrified. They can't handle it. It's
That's true.
overwhelming for them. So
How do y'all feel about growing a person? So let's say you're at a good stable point and somebody else isn't, but you see the potential in that person. And it's like maybe you love that person.
Mhm.
Will you are you willing to grow that person so they can become better? Or if your standard is already set, it's just like, you know what, I know, like I have already said, somebody out there is better already. Like what do you
I feel like it comes with how much do you love that person.
Yeah.
Are you willing to, you know, it's like, are you willing to pull that person up? Do you have the patience? Do you have the love for that person? Do you have the love in that person
Mhm.
to pull them up and keep bringing them higher and higher and higher? Or is it like, nah, I ain't really feeling them like that, so whatever happens, just happens.
Or is that person willing to work to get up to where you are?
Mm.
Because I've seen that happen before. I know I have a relative who her fiance was not always where she was. She grew up like this. She had all of these things, and he was in a different place than she was. But because of her love for him and his love for her, he was willing to come out of his circumstances to learn some of the things that she had. And in the same time, he was able to also bring her something. Because see, what we get confused about is, yeah, we may be a little bit higher than our significant other, but they may have something we need too.
Mhm.
Even though it's not something tangible or just like, you know, but they may have something for us as well. So if y'all can find that space and y'all can intertwine in that, I feel like it can work because y'all are both at that point learning from each other, even though y'all are on two different levels. And then y'all can eventually grow and intertwine and become on the same level together. So much
I
respect.
think it's a thin line too. Like you can't. I'm not gonna grow a person like probably ever.
Yeah.
Like I honestly feel like unless I see a lot of potential in you, I'm
Yeah.
talking about like a lot of potential. I can't do it because I feel like a lot of the times it's a waste of time. A lot of people don't want to grow for one.
Yeah.
A lot of people are stagnant where they're at. So I'm not gonna just sit there and wait on you to get where I'm at and I can find somebody else there already.
So to me, it sounds like at that point, it's like giving up on that person.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what I'm saying. It seems like giving up on that person. But at that point, my question to you is, when do you give up on that person?
When I feel like they're not putting in the effort to get where they need to be.
No matter if you love them or not.
No. It's not a time.
No, I'm saying you said if that person is not willing to put in that work. Let's say that first time around you see it.
Mm.
Is that like a done deal for you, or are you like, hey, you trying to coach
I put it in terms
talk?
like it's like in football, right? If you would say you want to be good and you're not out there training, you might miss a session or two. But you can see somebody's effort in a sport. You can see what they're putting in because you're gonna get a result. If I'm not seeing your effort or your results, then I don't need to waste my time with you because obviously you don't care enough to even get to that point. You're kind of holding on to me and just trying to follow me. I'm not doing it.
I need you to be better.
Yeah, even if I love you, I can love you from a distance. I want to do it.
Yeah, I don't. It's hit or miss with that.
Yeah,
Growing somebody.
be in line.
It is hit or miss. Now I know me personally. I know I'm willing to grow, and I know what I'm capable of. So if I was the person that had to do the growing, I'm all for it. I love the challenge, and I know I want to push myself to be great. So that's just me. But somebody else, yeah, I would have to see a lot
Yeah.
in them, you know. Yeah. So I guess that's where that ties in.
Okay, so I got a question. since we on this little relationship below, do you think it's a sign of weakness to be manipulative in a relationship?
It's a sign for.
Do you think it's a sign of weakness to be manipulative? Yep, manipulative in a
Or
relationship.
be manipulated.
Oh,
I feel like
so she started something.
I mean, I feel like when you are, I guess it is a sign of weakness when you're able to be manipulated in a relationship, because then I feel like you're going based on emotions rather than logic. Because when you're going based on logic, you're able to see those red flags. You're able to see past all the games people are playing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to see past that. But when you're going on emotion, you're just going on how things feel, and you're not really thinking rationally about the things that they're doing.
I feel like seeing it is one thing and taking action is another. So in your case, what you're saying is, you know, you can see it, but what I'm saying is you can see it all day. Whether you react to it, that's on you or not. That's on you. So it's like, if I can see this person is manipulating me, but I still, you know, stay in the place that I'm in, I mean, is it weakness? Or is it just what you're used to? What you
That's true. I feel like
what you feel like is cool.
Whenever you're in a relationship, a lot of people will call it like a weakness, but I feel like anybody in a relationship, you have to be a little vulnerable. And it's a small space between being weak and vulnerable, right? You have to be able to accept a lot of things and stuff like that, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a weakness.
I don't know if I would call it a weakness either. I think if you are the manipulator, you're taking advantage of something.
Now that's weak.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, your power and you know they don't have it. They're going to do whatever I say, because back to that whole thing, they don't know their worth.
Yeah.
So at that point, you become the punk and you don't realize it because you think you have control.
Yeah.
And that's a weak move.
Yeah.
So then the roles are reversed.
Right.
It's not weak
Basically.
on that person.
Right.
It's weak on the person dishing it out.
Right.
I feel like that's a weak move. Whether it's the male or the female,
Mhm.
I feel like it's a weak move that you can, you know, feel like it's okay to do that to somebody.
Right.
I guess us as the loved ones, if like someone close to us was going through that, I can see how we may make it seem like it's weak, just because it's like, girl, we already told you about this, or boy, we already told you about this. You complaining to us about it, therefore you know, and you're not doing anything about it. So you're like accepting at this point. Like, and for some people, they may just be in that vulnerable state. This is what they're used to. Like Jordan said, this is where they want to be because they just can't see themselves anywhere else. So, I mean, weak is a strong word, but to me, I just think like, I don't want to be harsh, but it's just like, I have to let you just experience whatever you're about to go through yourself, because you see it, you know it's there, you know it's a problem, and yet you're not doing anything. So my hands are tied for you at this point. Like, still love you, still care about you, but like, for me, don't talk to me about that anymore. And like, whenever you figure it out, I'll still be here. But I feel like everybody goes through that vulnerable stage. But like the saying goes, I don't know who said it, Bill Clinton, George Washington, not George Washington, George Bush, one of y'all. I went way back.
Yeah.
What is it? He said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't
George
get fooled
Bush.
again. Something. George Bush. I was on, Brittany. You gonna quote it right. I was on it.
I think
And
would've
you
said
me
J.
again.
Cole.
No,
I
I
was
know,
just gonna
man.
say, just say the most recent person.
He got it to
Shame on
someone else. He got it.
I feel like though the manipulator knows
That's a-
it's a tough word.
What's there?
Manipulator knows what he or she is doing because they have a propensity to tend to like
That's a T word.
they have a propensity to control
The
things,
TI dictionary.
right? they have this ability to always want to control things, and through that they will control everything that's around the partner's life, whether it's the people they hang around. If they don't want them hanging around certain people, or if they want to mold them into the person that they perceive them to, that they want them to be in their head, they're gonna distract the people around them to kind of get to that person. That's manipulation.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh wow.
You feel
God
something.
damn.
It's in the spirit.
So
The spirit's hot.
so okay, I kind of agree with you on that.
Mhm.
But let's say you see that this person isn't where they need to be.
Mhm.
You see the potential of where they need to be. They have it to where to get to where they need to be, but they're not doing it. So at that point, does that become manipulation, or you trying to help that person?
I mean, that's definitely help.
But okay, it's help,
It's
but
still
to the
it's
person,
positive manipulation.
it is. Is there such thing?
I think
I feel like all manipulation is negative because you're trying to
Control
pop them into
someone.
something that's not an area where they're supposed to be functioning.
Or
You're trying to
maybe
put-
that's their weak area and you want to manipulate it into their positive area, but they just don't want to be there.
If it's naturally
them
their
go.
weak area,
Uh-huh.
you can't manipulate them into being something that they're not.
That's true.
That's like me saying, okay, I'm married to somebody. You are destined just to be a great mother,
Yeah.
but I'm manipulating you into being a successful businesswoman because that's what I'm attracted to. Now that's manipulation into her trying to be something that you like.
It's a mind game.
When
It is.
Mhm.
It's a mind game.
manipulation is
Oh, what?
it's tricky.
It's-
It's nasty. It's a terrible thing because it's just
Yeah.
it's disgusting because you're playing with somebody else's mind,
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to get them to be
Make 'em like a
something
puppy.
that you want them to be, but discreetly. You're not doing it, very, vividly to where that they can
It's little
see.
things.
that you're
Yeah.
manipulating.
Yeah.
Oh, I like when you wear this. Ooh, can you wear this again? Wear
Yeah,
this
like,
all the time.
Mhm.
That freak
Yeah.
person.
Well, I don't like your hair like that. Can you wear your hair long all the time?
Right.
I guess my point in that was just trying to figure out, or not trying to figure out, but trying to help people realize what manipulation is and what help is. Because you can look at it as somebody's trying to help you, and you're like, he always trying to tell me what to do, or he always trying to do this, he always trying to do that. At that point, you need to sit down in your brain to see, okay, if I was to do whatever he's saying, is it helping me, or is it just something that helps him? Because if it's just helping him or making him look good, yeah, I believe that's manipulation.
Yeah.
But if I can sit down and say, okay, if I was to do this or go this route, oh, okay, yeah, that kind of does help me. That's help at that point.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people get it confused because we're, as a generation, we're so caught up on people trying to control us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you see, okay, it helps me or it hurts me,
Mhm.
that's when we can use that word control in a better situation. So that's what it is. And that's from Uncle Kid.
Okay, so my little topic for today, it's been something that's been on my heart for a while because
That's good.
I've been seeing it so often lately.
It's in the spirit.
Right. We don't really speak on parents a lot on here. Let's just get some things off our chest for right now,
And when you say
And it
parents,
don't have to be
we mean parents.
the generation above us.
Okay.
Right.
Our parents.
Our parents'
or older.
generation. Not specifically our parents. It don't have to be.
Not us
Yeah.
personally. No.
That
So-
I think your parents are the first toxic relationship you can be.
Mm-hmm.
For
Okay.
sure.
That can be true.
Because some people's cases, like their
Parents or
parents don't
siblings.
build the mother for them. They push them to a certain limit that's like, you don't even see me for who I am. You see me for who you want me to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times too, parents try to live through you.
Go
Yeah.
That's
bed.
it.
So
Yeah.
when they see how their life didn't go a certain way, our whole life they preach to us, oh, okay, I want you to be better than me, be better than me, be better than me.
Yeah.
I want you to go this way. But that was your vision for yourself.
Mhm.
So now since I'm not going their way, now it's a problem.
Right.
I have a vision for my own self, and you want me to go this way.
Right.
That was your life, right?
Mhm.
But you're pushing me to do that. I don't think that's right. And another thing I've been noticing too with parents, right? What is up with this letting your child? I think it's a line between teaching your child responsibilities and purposely putting your child through struggles that you can have control over, but just trying to see
how they react
to it. Now, I feel like it's a certain level of that a child needs in order to live in this world, because it's a tough world we live in. But at the same time, at a certain point, you have to think as a parent, okay, well, my child needs a little help. Like, let me step in and help out a little bit. What do y'all think about that?
A struggle, when you say, like, can you give an example?
Okay, so for instance, I've seen multiple parents, oh well, like my kid, they're struggling financially and stuff. I'm gonna put them out there and see what they do, right? Let them out on their own. This is at 18. One thing I've always thought about is, especially in the Black community, when a child turns 18 and gets out the house, financially cut off for the most part, right? But for the most part, it's something that still get help from the parents. But for the most part, 18 cut off financially, like go to college, don't come back home, figure your life out, you grown now. In other communities, you get this, okay, well, we're gonna help build you right. You can stay at the house, save your money up a little bit, till you're able to leave, you know, we help you out with some money on a car or something like that. It's more help. But for us is 18, you grown, go get some money, right? Why is it like that?
I feel like parents with that, they, in their minds, they have like the right idea. Like they try to think, okay, like this is right, this is ethical. But all in all, I feel like that is a problem, just because, especially the world we live in now with this administration going left and things aren't always in everybody's favor. Money is, you know, going to things that it's everything is getting more expensive. I feel like we need to teach our kids the responsibilities of life while they're in the house, yes. So that way when they get out there, yeah, they can tap with it a little bit, especially at 18, you know, eventually you'll get more responsibility. But so they can go out, okay, I know what my parents taught me, but still kind of help them out a little bit. Like, don't just, this is all you. Now, for some people, I mean, yeah, we may see it as a bad thing, but for the people that are going through that, for the most part, some of them have learned a lot from it because their parents have done that. They may be stronger than somebody who does have help. They know the ins and outs, they know the hustle, But I just feel like that can be a problem, that can be troubling because, you know, sometimes, especially in our community, we don't want our kids to end up another Black statistic. Like, we don't want them to fall short of where they are. So you're going to be a parent for the rest of your life, even if your kid is 18 or even 55. Like, you still need to be there as a parent. You need to encourage, you need to continue teaching them, being a mentor, whatever the case may be. And that's just how it should be in my book.
Personally, I don't want my kids to struggle. I mean, I feel like there's been enough of struggle. I want them to know what it feels like to be in a stable, financially stable household. You know, what it's like to go on vacations and do the things they want to do and go to the school they want to go to. I don't feel like that's something that we should accept, you know, just because that's what, you know, the generations before us did. They did that because they had to.
Yeah.
And, you know, they made struggling look, you know, okay. You know, they had to, you know, do what they had to do for their family and provide for their family the best way they knew how. So I feel like, you know, we should change the trajectory, like, on, you know, parents and kids and, you know, raising a family and making sure that you have generational wealth and you're, you know, providing your kids with all the necessary things that they need to be a successful adult. Just don't put them out there because they'll end up making stupid or irrational decisions, you know, because they're stressed out or they need help or they'll open up credit cards, run their credit, stuff like that. So I think it's just like being a little bit more nurturing, you know, on, more guidance on with your kids.
I agree with that. I agree. Of course, you know, we all, and I say us as parents, we all want our kids to be the best that they can be in the best situations that they can be in. But at the same time, me personally, I would also want my kids to know how quickly that can be taken away. I want them to know that it's not always going to be rainbows and all, you know. I want them to understand that it can be, and not saying eventually it will be, but it's a strong possibility that anything can happen and a struggle can come. Now, financially, maybe not. Spiritually, mentally, that's the boat I'm looking at. I'm not looking at just like financial.
Yeah, it's more life.
Yeah, it's just more life lessons, period. So, I mean, the way I look at it is like, you know, you throwing a kid in the pool to swim that hasn't swum before.
You're either gonna drown or you're
It's
gonna
like,
swim.
yeah, it's either you're gonna figure it out or you're not.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think, like Jordan said, I think a lot of people had to struggle. That's why it's kind of, you know, common. But I just think more kids should be, you know, knowledgeable about the struggle. Not saying that they want to be
Why is
in
that
it.
praise though? Like we see it on Twitter a lot. People, I see it all the time. Oh, well, you blessed if your mama and your daddy help you out with a car. Like you can't tell me nothing about.
That all
Like that's called a parent. Like if your parent is financially able to help you out with a car, why are we looking down on people who
Have that resource.
Yeah, who have the resource? We should not be. Oh, well, don't tell me about the struggle if your mom and daddy help you with a car. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point it's a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like for example, I have BMW, you have BMW. I worked my ass off to get that BMW. Your mom bought yours. It's like we got the same thing, but we didn't get it the same way. So it's that chip that you have on your shoulder. It's that grit that you have toward that person or toward whatever, saying, okay, we're on the same exact level, but we didn't take the same.
You got it easier than me.
It's like you got it easier.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a lot of people might feel like you don't really appreciate what you got.
Because it was given to you.
Because it was given to you. So, I mean, it can go 100 different ways.
That derives from just people being envious of the next person. Now, a lot of people that actually have to grow up in the struggle envy those who didn't have to, because they feel like that your life is better because you didn't go through what I want to do. Or the reason why you got what you got was because you didn't live like me. We didn't go the same route. We probably met up at the same place, but I took an alternate route than you did. So I feel like as parents, it's not okay to teach them what it feels like. I mean, to show them what it feels like, but it is necessary to teach them about, okay, this is what it's like to struggle. But if you're not living in that struggle, let them know, like, hey, if you're not living in that struggle, right, as a parent, but you previously did as a kid, teach them, like, okay, this is what happened to us, and this is what we went through, and this is not what you're about to go through, because I'm gonna instill in you lessons that I learned as a child that brought me over, you know, to being the parent that I am today, not struggling, being financially stable, so that you won't have to live in a life that I previously lived as a child. So it's okay for us to teach them, but not show them what it feels like.
Yeah, I don't agree with showing them what it feels like, but at the end of the day, it comes with the person, because a kid can grow up in poverty and say, I'm not going to be like this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to be like this when I have
motivation.
kids. Yeah. But then you have some who feel like, well, I mean, I guess this is
My
what it is.
environment.
Like,
It is what it is. A product in your environment.
Yeah. And that comes from a lot of people, a lot of kids, really where I'm from, they're just not exposed to, you know, a different lifestyle.
So true.
It's a lot of stuff that they haven't even seen. I feel like I wouldn't say necessarily live by this, but this is one of my favorite, like, quotes, favorite things to live by. So it's, you can't be what you cannot see. So a lot of children cannot be something that they want to be because they haven't seen it. If all they see is drug dealers, thugs, and gangsters, then they feel like that's all that's in the world.
Yeah.
How they gonna want to be this entrepreneur when no entrepreneurs are around them?
Yeah.
They don't know what it is. They don't even know how to spell entrepreneur. So you're supposed to tell them, be an entrepreneur. What is entrepreneur, Dad? You're not even an entrepreneur. So if you tell me that's come from the teaching, if you tell me
Come on now.
and teach me what an entrepreneur is, then maybe I could be that. You got to instill it at a young age. Train up.
Train Yes, sir.
Missionary Baptist.
No, I like that you said that because one of the biggest moments ever in my life, I was in a class. It was a sociology class at SMU, and y'all know the demographics of SMU. It's one of us and 30 of them. So the professor was like, "Okay, well, raise your hand if you ever went to a private school." Everybody raised their hand except for the student athletes, which were all black. Teacher said, "Okay, put your hands down. Raise your hand if you got ACT prep in high school." Everybody raised their hand except for the athletes, right? The teacher was like, "Okay, raise your hand if you got like any help outside of regular teaching while you were in high school." Everybody raised their hand except for the black athletes. She said, "Now y'all see now exactly the difference. That makes a world of a difference. It's like, okay, this is how you were raised. This is how I was raised." She said, "Okay, raise your hand if you ever been on a yacht or a canoe or a boat." Everybody raised their hand except for the student athletes, which are all black. It's certain things that we grow up with that we're not exposed to that we can't even fathom. Like when everybody raised their hand for a yacht, this is my freshman year, so I'm looking like a yacht. Like y'all was really on a yacht. Like I barely had a car, y'all on a yacht. So it's like, okay, this is a whole different world that we can be living, and all it takes is to be exposed to it. When I got to SMU, I never have saw like so many BMWs and G-Wagons, and these were kids our age driving these, and they just had, like, their parents had some money to be able to let them drive it, right? For us, it's like, we never gonna see nothing like that if we, like, staying in the hood. That's something you don't see often, so you can't fathom buying a G-Wagon. You can't, in your mind, it's not attainable. It's always, okay, well, they can do that, and I'm jealous of them because they able to do it, and their parents gave it to them, but we can get there too, though.
Or it's not, or it's the only way I can get this is if I'm a rapper,
Drug money.
or if I go to the NFL. That's the only way I can get that G-Wagon. They don't know you can go get a G-Wagon if you go to college and do this right here, or take this route, or go to this trade
G-Wagon with some good credit.
Yeah, like they don't know that. They just think, oh, okay, I watch a music video. Oh, Yo Gotti had this in there, so I gotta be a rapper. Or I just seen Odell Beckham buy this, so I gotta go to the NFL. Or LeBron, I gotta go to the NBA. It's like that's what they see, so they don't know that you can get that same thing, but in different ways.
Yeah, and that'd be the only opportunities growing up in the hood is to either be a rapper like one of your homeboys, like Tutu now,
Yeah.
He trash.
or play football, because that's the only thing that's offered to us. So we, like I said, bro, you cannot. It's hard to be what you can't see. If I can open my eyes and see the opportunities that's beyond where the the level that I'm living, then I feel like, okay, I can obtain it because I at least saw it. And so if I saw it, I can see the route to take to go to it.
So many different routes that growing up you would never even know about. Like a lot of us never grew up learning about credit. It's in white communities, their kids, like, they have a built credit at 17, 18 years old. By the time they get to college, they got a 750 credit score. We just now trying to see about how to even get a credit card. So now it's like they already steps ahead of us just because of us not being knowledgeable of certain things. Like, I didn't know about nothing about like trade lines, or I didn't know nothing about forex trading, stocks, anything like that. We don't learn about that at a young age. This is something that they've been doing for years, and we just now, let me try this.
I guess that's the parents' responsibility. That's what, sad to say, but a lot of people in the Black community don't understand. It's your responsibility, even if you didn't grow up with those things, which sometimes is understood, because, I mean, if they don't know, how you gonna know? But it's important for, as a parent, to, even if you didn't get that education as a child, educate yourself so you can educate your children. Bring them to, it's some kids that never even been to a museum. Take them to the museum. Museums are free. Museum, learn the arts. Next thing you know, they may want to grow up to be an artist. Try to, or even just to get them exposed to just certain things, or even talk to them about certain things. Because I know sometimes money is a little tight. You can't always take your child to a football game to aspire to be a football player, or to take them, to some event where there's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. But just educate yourself. It's out there, so why hide that information from your children? And then another thing is, what people don't realize is that we have to do well for ourselves so we can do well for the next generation.
Mhm.
Because we cannot settle at all. Like even us right now in this generation, us as 20-year-olds, we have to get it. We have to go get it. So that way we can have it all for our kids and they can do the same thing, have it for the kids. Because little do you know, that is what these other ethnicities do. Literally, they plan ahead so that generation has it, that generation. Like I know someone that I work for, their child is probably 1 year old and soon by the time they are, I want to say 18, they will have over $1 million, literally. And they can probably going to show them how to invest, stocks, different things like that, so that way the next generation can be set. And the next generation. For us, it's more like, now I understand some of us may not have money like that, but sometimes not even money, is just knowledge.
Exactly. Like none of us really had knowledge of college funds. Like when I was 10 and even past 10, really like 15, 16 years old, my knowledge was I need to play football so I can go to college. If I don't play football, I don't know how I'm going to pay for college. Like I don't have the pocket money to pay for college, so I have to use my athletic skill in order to pay for school. But if I would have learned at an earlier age about different ways, like I could have started saving up when I was 7, 8 years old, putting some money on the side, having my mama put some money on the side so I can be able to just pay for school and not have to rely on the government for some funding.
Yeah.
We don't really, I mean, like, just be honest, how many of us are on FAFSA? Like, we rely on government funding to go to school. Now, if they just one day said, you know what,
Getting there.
y'all ain't getting no money. Who is going to be in school? Nobody
there.
but people who had college funds or people who have the money to pay for it.
Yeah.
So we already steps behind just off of that.
And at that point, you'll see who really want to go to college, because the ones that really want to go to college, they're going to go pull out them loans.
Yeah,
That's what they're going to do.
You know what?
I guess another thing is also people need to pay attention to their kids. That's the thing. Like, I just like I said earlier, if you don't have the knowledge, whatever, but you need to be like, what are you learning? Like, how's school going? What are you interested in? What's going on? Like, a lot of people just let their kids go willy-nilly. And when they get 18, it's like, oh, you going to this college, cool. Like, you have no idea what they are trying to establish. Like, it's a parent's responsibility to know what's going on in their child's lives. What are they learning? What classes are you taking? What teachers do you like? Do I know these people? Because I know for me personally, my dad was always like that. Even though he was an Air Force guy and, in the military, you learn a lot more than what you think. But he always made sure, like, okay, if you want to do this, okay, let me help you. Let me help figure out who knows about this, because maybe he may not, or something like that. So it's just being a part of your child's life, really showing them the way. That's
Understood. But before we go, we want to, put a lot of emphasis on how to let it go. All right, so, and what I mean, let it go. Let's think about this deeper. So, who or what are you functioning with that's not in your presence but is on your mind?
Wow.
Your decisions are made by them or that. Your next steps are made by it, right? You're scared to go forward for real, because if you do, you're concerned about what they might think of it or you if you do it for real.
Mm.
So, like,
A lot
what
of people
are
don't
you
do
afraid
it for real because they're scared of what they probably can be.
So what's holding you back?
And what you probably can be is something better than what they thought you could be. So now you're worried about what they're thinking you could be. It makes sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
So what are you afraid to let go, or what do you need, to let go but you're afraid of?
I guess that can tie into many things. It can tie into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Is that person you don't want to be without this person, so you're not reaching your full potential. These friends that you're hanging with, you're trying to please them. You're trying to do what they do to seem cool or popular or have the clout that y'all probably don't even really have. So it's holding you back from what you really want to do or where you really want to be. It could be family, because you're too busy trying to please your parents, trying to please grandma, grandpa, whoever. your whole family bloodline to where you're not reaching your full potential. You can't let that go because you yearn for the love of your family. Or it could even be a hobby or something that you do, whether it's something technical or something that you know you should be over here working on this, but it's just like, I need to be right here. I need to be this. I need to be at this job. I need to be doing this right here. So many things.
A lot of times we get hooked on to the past experiences that we had with other people, and then it affect our relationship that we have now because you haven't let go of what happened previously.
Yeah.
So the way that you feel about the previous person will show up in the way that you treat the current person.
Yeah.
Because you haven't let go of that string or that, attachment that you had with that person. Something bad probably happened, right? And you're still not letting that go, and then opening another opportunity for the next person to come, and just like cherish you because you still have these strings attached to somebody else.
I think the fear of letting go comes from the unknown. If you don't know, like, what happens after, What happens after I let go of this and I've been holding on to it for a long time? It was convenient for me. So you want me to let go and try something else? It's like, I'm trying something else. I'm taking that step. I'm taking that leap of faith. And it's like, whoa, but what if it, what if it doesn't work? I think not knowing keeps us back, keeps us from letting go, because it's like, this works. If, me being how I am, I don't have to let go, or also it can be in the sense of you don't want to let go because maybe you're afraid of who you might become.
I like that you said that. I think for a lot of us, especially people who are like in business, I feel like the number one thing that holds people back is the mindset of being scared of being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't want to get out your comfort zone, when you feel like, what, like I'm good right here, I don't have no problems right here, I make a decent amount of money right here, like I'm straight. You're not going to step out of that, and 9 times out of 10, God has something better for you outside of that zone, but you don't want to get out of that just because you're so comfortable being where you are that it doesn't, in your mind, you can't possibly get out of that.
Yeah.
Right? I know, like for me, it's certain things that I want to do, and it's like, man, I wonder what somebody gonna say about that, or dang, I wonder if they even gonna respond to this, or man, I wonder if my money gonna be looking a little different if I do this. Like, you just gotta take that leap of faith. But a lot of people's mindset is so like, I'm good, I'm straight where I'm at, I'm doing just good enough to fly by, I'm straight.
Yeah, you have to definitely transition your mind. And I guess
it's courage.
Yeah, basically what Shadea was saying and what you were saying, Jay, you just need to find your happiness. Like, once you realize, okay, I'm ready to risk it all, because as long as I am happy and this is what I have always wanted to do, or this is the person I've always wanted to be, I feel like that's when you will find that. And some people, it takes longer than others. But I mean, for everybody listening, sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to know that although I'm letting this job go, although I'm letting this person go, I have identified with what has caused my, downfall, was holding me back, and I've accepted it, and I need to look at myself and say, hey, I need to find another space. I need to find another area, and just believe that everything is going to be okay on the other end, because sometimes you might be up and you got to start back down, but instead of going this way like you were, like at a slight angle, you'll shoot right up. Yeah. So you have to believe that.
And I kind of want to end it with this. Once you take that leap of faith, it's okay if you fall. Even if what you jumped away from comes back to you, let it come. Because at that point, that's when you know, okay, this is where I need to be. Yeah. Versus, this is not where I need to be yet. I can't come up here yet because I'm not ready for that right now. So if you stuck right here, you say, okay, I'm gonna leave that and I'm gonna go. That's fine that you go. But if it comes back up to you, that's when you know at that point, okay, this is where I need to be right now, versus up here. And then eventually, if you work hard and if you believe in what you want to do, that'll eventually go away, and you'll get right back to what you were at first. Yeah. So it's all about what Solly said one time: your season. If it's your season, it's your season. If it's not, you can't force it to be. So
That's
that's
good.
it.
That's true. I like that. Well said.
All right, well, that's it for today's show. So you're gonna catch us again on the Wednesday after next at 7:30 p.m. Make sure to follow us on HeSaySheSay Radio on IG and HeSaySheSay Crew on Twitter for updates. Stream us live here on YouTube. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. And that's it for this show.
It's a wrap. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Hello, all. Love you all. You had a baby.